You may go ahead and start your presentation.
Procurement Services, and I'm a certification officer. I will be one of the individuals reviewing your application after you've submitted it for certification with the City of Chicago. If you need to reach me directly after this presentation, please take down my email address, sonia.larkin, Larkin, at cityofchicago.org, and I'll be happy to respond to any questions you may have after the fact or that come up while you're going through your application. We're going to start with a department overview. The Department of Procurement Services is the contracting authority for the procurement of goods and services for the City of Chicago. We work together as a team and with our customers to guarantee an open, fair, and timely process by establishing, communicating, and enforcing superior business practices. Our certification categories are MBE, Minority-Owned Business Enterprise, WBE, Woman-Owned Business Enterprise, VBE, Veteran-Owned Business Enterprise, BEPD, Businesses Owned by People with Disabilities, DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, ACDBE, Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. What we do, DPS, which is the acronym for the Department of Procurement Services, is committed to providing information, resources, and tools to assist you in your efforts to compete for City of Chicago contracting opportunities. We accept and review new applications for certification, annual no change affidavits, and recertification applications every 5 years. Contract compliance with negotiated contractual MWV DBE participation goals are also things that the Department of Procurement Services provides. We set standards for contract participation for MWBEPD and VBEs, as well as DBE and ACDBE certified firms. The Department of Procurement Services assists vendors through our websites, www.cityofchicago.org/procurement, also chicago.mwdbe.com. The website chicagomwdbe.com is the quickest way to access the application for certification. We also provide visibility. Once your firm is certified, you are listed in the MBE-WBE directory, which is accessible to the general public. In this directory, there are minority women, veteran, and disadvantaged business participation goals on City of Chicago projects and sister agencies. There are businesses in the private sector that seek out certified firms for products and/or services. The City of Chicago also has a target market program, which provides exclusive bidding to certified minority and woman-owned business enterprises. This allows certified businesses to take 100% of the contract because there are no subcontractor goals associated with the project. The qualifying groups for the certification program are African American, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, woman, veteran, persons with disabilities, other individuals who can prove social and economic disadvantage. VBE, veteran-owned business enterprise, means a veteran is a person who has served in the United States Armed Forces and was discharged or separated under not dishonorable conditions. The applicant must provide their DD 214 and/or their DD 215 needed for supporting evidentiary documentation. Now, this is a requirement if anyone is thinking of applying for a VBE or a veteran-owned business certification. If the vendor does not have their DD 214 and/or their DD 215, the applicant should contact the Veterans Administration before they submit the application. The certification requirements indicate that the firm must be considered a local business. This means the principal office, the place or location of the business, and majority of full-time workforce is located in the counties of Cook, DuPage, Kane, Lake, McHenry, or Will, and this applies to the MBE, WBE, VBE, and BEPD. The DBE and ACDBE certifications are valid throughout the state of Illinois on contracts. The firm must be 51% controlled and managed by a minority, woman, veteran, and/or person or persons with a disability for DBE, socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. There is a business size standard. The MBE, WBE, VBE gross receipts must not exceed 40.5 million averaged over a 3-year period for non-construction firms. Construction firms are subject to the SBA size standards averaged over 5 years. The DBE certification has gross receipts that are subject to the SBA size standards averaged over 3 years, not to exceed 23.98 million. The ACDBE must not exceed 56.42 million averaged over 3 years for most firms. Some exceptions do exist. There is also a personal net worth standard. For the MBE, WBE, VBE, the threshold only applies to construction companies and is currently at $2,352,514. This is evaluated annually by the City of Chicago. For the DBE, ACDBE certification, the threshold applies to all people seeking certification and is currently at $1,320,000. This is adjusted periodically by the U.S. Department of Transportation. The calculation of personal net worth excludes the value of your primary residence and interest in the certified firm. The businesses that qualify for the certification programs with the City of Chicago include sole proprietor. This is a business that is typically owned by only one person, has no legal existence apart from that person, him or herself. The sole proprietor must submit an assumed name certificate if operating in a name other than the owner. Another form of business is general partnership. 2 or more people go into business together without any formalities, and they have a partnership agreement. There is a corporation. A corporation is treated as an entity completely separate from its shareholders. It allows others to invest in the business without being liable for the debts of that business. Is the firm in good standing with the state? These are these bullet points are things we look for. Does the firm have stamped and dated articles of incorporation? Does the firm have a certificate of incorporation? Are there bylaws of the corporation? Copies of all certificates issued front and back and meeting minutes. These are items that will be requested in your new certification application. Another type of business is a limited partnership. The limited partners are more like stakeholders in a corporation. They are not liable for the debts beyond their own contribution. Assumed name certification or certificate of limited partnership is required. A limited liability corporation or an LLC is a partnership that has a managing member as the partner and partners. There is required the operating agreement and the stamped and dated articles of organization when applying for certification as an LLC. We're going to talk about different types of applications. One of them is as a supplier. A supplier must be a regular dealer, which is a firm that owns, operates, and maintains a store, warehouse, or other establishment in which materials, supplies, articles, or equipment are bought, kept in stock, and regularly sold or leased to the public in the usual course of business out of their warehouse stock. Firms operating as a distributor are identified as having a direct relationship with a manufacturer to distribute its goods and products within a specified territory or region. The goods and/or products are not available or sold to the general public. Now, firms acting as brokers are not eligible for certification as an MBE, WBE, VBE, BEPD, but can be eligible for certification as a DBE. A person or entity that simply fills orders by purchasing or receiving supplies from a third-party supplier rather than out of its own existing inventory and provides no substantial service other than acting as a conduit between his or her supplier and his or her customer is considered a broker. So if you're considering being a supplier, I'd be glad to discuss this with you at the end of the presentation, or you can reach out to me after the presentation is complete. Online application process. You'll submit your application online at www.cityofchicago.mwdbe.com. There is an application fee of $250 for the MBE WBE. There is no fee for the DBE and ACDBE. Upon submission of your application, you will receive an emailed invoice. We will not review your application until you pay the $250 application fee. You can pay the $250 application fee at any of the city's payment centers. You must bring the invoice when paying at the payment centers. We only accept cashier's checks, certified checks, or money orders. If you're paying by check, if you're paying by credit or debit card, those are accepted. The second page of your invoice has the website address to make an online payment. Information you will be requested in the application will be contact information. You will indicate the type of certification you are seeking: MBE, WBE, VBE, BEPD, DBE, or ACDBE. The BEPD requires a Schedule G form completed by your physician at the time you are submitting your BEPD application. The VBE application requires the DD-214 and/or the DD-214. We will require ownership information, employee information, facility information, financial information, and licenses for the applicant and the business. The proof of eligibility documents are a detailed resume, evidence of executed contracts and/or invoices, a driver's license or birth certificate, a proof of equity contribution used to start up your business, business bank account information in terms of the signatory card, an organizational chart, an equipment list depending on the type of business that is applying for certification, and loan information if there is any. The financial documents required will be 3 years of federal business tax returns. There will be 5 years of federal business tax returns required for construction firms, 3 years of federal individual tax returns, 5 years of federal individual tax returns for construction firms applying. The Form 4506T, copies of W-2s and 1099s received and issued, a personal net worth statement for construction firms applying, and all new DBE and ACDBE applications. After applications are submitted, the process can take approximately 90 days from the day we receive all the documents. Your application is checked to make sure we have all documentation. Documents are thoroughly audited. You may receive a site visit depending on the specialty areas you are requesting. If approved, MBE, WBE, VBE, BEPD, your certification is valid for 5 years. Recognition of outside certifications. The Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council, the Women and Business Development Center. This is an abbreviated application that may require less documentation depending, again, on the specialty areas the firm is applying for. All vendors must submit an annual no change affidavit once they are certified. You must notify the Certification and Compliance Division regarding any organizational changes, business name changes, or ownership changes within 10 business days of that change. All MBE, WBE, BEPD vendors must recertify every 5 years. If you are looking to expand the services that the firm was originally certified in, you will do this online in your application by submitting your request on company letterhead. You will include the added categories from the North American Industry Classification System codes, or as we refer to them, the NAICS codes. The application for an expansion will include required licenses, copies of future and present contracts, any needed insurance, and a current resume indicating how you acquired this new ability to perform these new services you are requesting. We have sister agencies. They are the Chicago Public Schools, Cook County, Chicago Park District, Public Building Commission, Chicago Housing Authority, Chicago Transit Authority, City Colleges, Metropolitan Exhibition Authority, and the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. 10 reasons applications are denied. And I'm going to go through these quickly because I'm sure that none of these will happen given that we've now gone through all of the documentation that's required. But I'm going to go through them one by one. Unsubstantiated or questionable ownership or control. Unclear description of the critical functions and who is responsible for doing those functions in the business. The company cannot substantiate where and or how they got their startup funds or expansion capital, where that funding came from. In this case, it could be for equipment. If there is outside secondary employment, if it takes the majority of the MWVB enterprises time each day. The company is not located in one of the 6 county regions and is not considered a local business. The point of contact did not respond to requests for information in a timely manner. The reviewing officer, such as myself, will be going through the new application, and if additional information or documentation is required, we'll send out something called an RFI, or request for certification. On that RFI, there is a time period stated indicating what your requirement is to respond. This is when we say we require information in a timely manner. So please make sure you check your account and you give us an email that is an active email that you're checking daily. If there are inconsistencies with the applicant firm name among various documents, if you're providing us with supporting documentation that says this is, in one case, ABC Corporation, and in the other case, it may say at the top of the invoice, ABC LLC, we will question why there are 2 different types of businesses indicated in the application. Problems with contracts: missing, incomplete, not signed or executed by qualifying owners, or have no corresponding proof of payments. Always be sure you support your contracts or agreements that you're submitting with your application with proof of payments received. If the required documents are not attached or no explanation is given as to why the documents are not available, please think in terms of every question will require a response, even if it's a response indicating that it does not apply to your business. And if it does not apply to your business, please indicate why it does not apply to your business. If the appropriate number of years of tax returns are not submitted, these tax returns must be signed also. And that's 3 years of individual and corporate tax returns for non-construction businesses applying for certification, and 5 years of individual and corporate tax returns for construction firms. Now I'm going to open the floor to questions.
Wow, Sonia, you did that real quick. Well, first, let me just say, for those of you that would like to ask a question, you can do so. Again, if you would hover around the bottom of your screen, click on the 3 dots that you see within the circle that says more options. When you click on the ellipse and it uploads into a menu, you will see Q&A. Press Q&A and then type out your question and press the enter key. So we do have a few questions, but first and foremost, I want to thank Sonia for that great information on how to get certified. And second of all, I just want everybody to give a quick happy birthday to Jonathan Edison. He was our first person to check in at the time, and today's his birthday, so I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. So thanks, Jonathan, for coming today, spending your birthday with us. And we will go ahead and ask the question of Sonia. How long does it take to get certified? And while we are in the process, can we still bid and claim status?
The certification application is processed according to when all of the documentation is received. As you saw in the PowerPoint several pages prior, there is a 90-day window of completion, which is our goal, but it could be completed sooner. Is received by the reviewing certification officer. And to answer the second part of that question, no, until you are certified, you are not able to bid as an MBE, WBE, VBE, BEPD, DBE, or ACDBE certified firm. You must have that certification letter in your hand. Thank you for that question.
All right, we have another question. If I have more than one business, do I need a WBE for each business?
I'm a little unclear about that. So the individual has more than one business, or
Correct.
so
Correct.
the individual has more than one business. Each business requires its own application.
Okay. And do we have any other questions? Anyone else have a question that they may want us to ask Sonia? I guess, Sonia, you did a great job with this presentation, because we do not have that many questions. But I'm going to give them a second to fill out, because some people might be typing at the moment. They might be thinking of questions or typing at the moment. So I'll give you a few minutes to think about that. I do want to go back. Rodney earlier sent a copy, a link, I should say, for where you can find the actual workshops, because we have workshops on the e-procurement process, workshop on contracts and compliance processes that you might want to know about. So if any of these things are of interest to you, feel free to use the link to go in and read about the different workshops. You then can register for the workshops online as well. And then last but not least, you can also go to YouTube to see the actual workshops that have been done on that topic in the past. So if you want to see an archived copy of that workshop, you can go to YouTube to actually see that. That's part of this PowerPoint, and you can get a copy of the PowerPoint with clicking on that link, reading the description, and then right under it, it has the PowerPoint. Sonia's email Rodney sent you as well. And so if you think of a question after this moment, feel free to email, Sonia, and she will definitely point you in the right direction if she is not the right person to answer that question. There are no further questions, I see. I'm just scrolling through to make sure that there are no further questions. And if there are no further questions, I say to you, thank you for coming for today. Here's one. If I'm out of state, Sonia, can they still apply?
That's a question that's very specific to this firm. If the firm is out of state, they are not eligible. They are not eligible for the MBE, WBE, BEPD, or VBE program, but they may be eligible for the DBE program if they are home state certified. And this is where I can speak to that individual via email or give that individual a phone call after this presentation is over if they email me.
Okay, so if you would like to reach out to Sonia, she can go in further detail because they did say, Sonia, what if I opened a branch of my company in Cook County? Then yes, the answer I guess would be yes, right?
No, the answer would still remain no, because
Oh, okay.
if you recall, and again, the PowerPoint was quick, but not too quick. It does say that the majority of the full-time staff and the principal office of the business needs to be located in the 6-county region.
So you can't set up like necessarily a branch.
No,
You would have to set up another company in Cook County with those parameters, meaning that majority of the company would have to be.
the company itself, including the owner, would need to be located within the 6-county region to be considered a local business.
Okay.
So creating a branch, even if the majority of the staff were to be in that branch, still won't work with the program. And you're welcome to go online into the certification area of the Department of Procurement Services website and take a look at what is called definitions. That will give you some of the key points of what is required to be certified. Even though I described them going through the PowerPoint, it's easier if you find that those definitions and look at them yourself.
Okay, that's great information. Are there any additional questions? We don't want to close out without answering your questions. Here's another one. What if I'm MBE certified with the Chicago Public Schools?
The city of Chicago does not honor the Chicago Public School certification. In order to be eligible to be utilized either on the target market program or utilized as an MBE, WBE subcontractor, you must be certified by the city of Chicago or Cook County. And there are some requirements, as we do have reciprocity with Cook County.
Mhm.
But again, if we're getting down into very specific questions about this particular firm or business, then please reach out to me at sonia.larkin@cityofchicago.org, and I'll be glad to clarify whatever questions you may have and point you to the right direction where you can find that either in the rules and regulations or definitions.
Great. All right. I guess that was our last question. Oh, wait. We have some more. Is I am a not for profit. Can I apply for a MBE?
That's a question I'd like to have that individual send to my email address, because there's some variables in that. So I would like to discuss this with that individual business owner or the
Okay.
not-for-profit owner directly.
All righty. So if you would go ahead and send sonia.larkin@cityofchicago.org. If you would send her your question, she will be able to get back with you. And like I said, if not, she'll point you in the right direction of who you need to speak to if it's someone other than herself. Thank you so much, Sonia.
My pleasure.
I thank all of the participants for joining us today. I say that one day we will be together again in City Hall, and we will be holding these classes either in the Bond Room or the 11th floor at City Hall. But until that time, stay safe, stay well, Wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands, and we will see you soon. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you at another time. Take care. Sonia, you can check out if you like.
Thank you all.